Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Saturday morning practice. Good to see you again. So we'll be spending the next hour and a half together for those who are new here. And we alternate from week to week. And so this week we're coming back to a exercise at the very end called Yi Jing Jing, which can be translated as the renewal of the tendon, which is actually a mistranslation, but I'll come to that. Um, in any case, we're going to pair that with some massage, some tapping, some scraping, and different kind of exercise, starting from the fingertips all the way to the toes, from the top of the head all the way to the bottom of the feet. And after at 9 o'clock, at the end of a class, I will do a Dharma talk as we've been doing for the last month or so. All right. So before we do anything, we need to bring our mind back to our body. Back to our body. Let's start with the lower part of spine. Let's move along the spine towards the top of the head, very gently, very slowly, one joint at a time. As you move towards the top of the head, I want you to stretch the spine. Stretch the spine towards the ceiling. And then I want you to lean back, the upper torso, feel the change in your body as you lean back. You feel a little bit of lightness as you do that because you're removing the dependence on the muscle and putting the weight of the body on the spine. Then I want you to focus on the top of your shoulder. I want you to lift up that shoulder. Lift it up as if you're bringing the shoulder to your ears. Then I want you to open that shoulder as far as you can, as if you're squeezing a tennis ball in the back. Then I want you to drop your shoulder, relax, relax some more. I'm going to start at the fingertips. So I want you to bring out the left hand. I'm going to start with each one of the fingers at the very tip. So I want you to use the right thumb and just kind of gently massage the tip. So here we talk a lot about qi, and the obvious question would be, so are we practicing qi gong? And gong means the practice of qi. And and then now we're going to do the right hand. And I would always ask, yes, except that we practice qigong as a journey, not a destination. All right. Now we're done with the fingertips. So now we're going to work on each one of the fingers at each one of the joints. So again, we take the right thumb and just very gently massage the front of the joint, the left of the joint, come back to the front and then to the right. And after you finish one joint, you move to the next one. And after you finish one finger, you move to the next finger. And what I meant by practicing qi as a journey and not as a destination is because um, the belief is that our existence is actually at the very minimum in three different domains: the body, which by the way includes the thinking mind, the brain, right? And then the chi, which sometimes people translate as the life energy, and then finally the mind. The mind is something much deeper, and we started to talk about the mind now, in terms of the five skandhas, in terms of the karma, in terms of how we could cleanse our karma or reduce the non-virtuous karma. We started to talk about that. So that is really the mind. All right, so now we're done with the joints. I want you to come back to the left hand, use the right thumb, and just kind of massage the entire length of the fingers, one finger at a time, and actually start to treat it as a meditation, meaning that as you massage your fingers, I want you to focus on the body, focusing on the fingers. Start to examine, feel the change in your body as you massage your fingers. All right. So now we're done with the palm of the hand. We're going to move to the back of the hand. And once again, starting at the fingertips, so I want you to take each of the fingers and locate the two corners of the nail. Use the right thumb and the index finger and just kind of gently squeeze that. So then the next question is, okay, got that. So you have the physical and the metaphysical, and then the qi is like the bridge between them. That's why we don't call this practice qigong, because we don't want to truncate the practice. We don't want to just stop at chi. We actually want to use it as a bridge to really understand the mind. All right, so now we're done with the fingertips, and similarly, we're going to come back and work on the joints, one joint at a time. So the next question is then, what is chi? What is life energy? Well, one thing is that it's not the energy that you generate, although the energy you generate provides the conduit to the ultimate chi, which is the energy in the universe. Okay, now this concept of the energy of the universe flowing into your through your body actually start with the yogis, right? Start with the yogis, and then eventually it came to China. Okay, so now we're done with the joints, both left hand and right hand, and then now we're going to massage the length of the fingers again. Okay, now we continue to work on the back of the hand and moving from the fingertips all the way up to the shoulder. And first, now we're going to get to the knuckles. So I want you to hold the left fist, left hand into a fist, but not very tight. And then I want you to use the right thumb, use the edge of the thumb and just kind of put it into the knuckles, in between the knuckles. And if you feel any kind of soreness, numbness, uh, that's a sign that your chi is blocked. Now we're going to move to the right, use the left thumb, and then work on in between the knuckles. And now we're going to come back to the left hand and notice how the fingers actually are individual bones before they join at the wrist. That at the wrist, you can kind of slide in between the bones, massage that. Okay, and then when they come together, they actually form two dimples. So I want you to use the right thumb, find those dimples, and do a little bit of upward pressure now. Okay, now similarly on the other side, kind of massage in between the fingers on the back of the hand, and then also massage the wrist where there are two dimples. I want you to come back now to the thumb. The thumb actually is the most used fingers, and often our thumbs is very sore. And so I want you to massage the thumb. And then I want you to identify this part of the thumb that looks like a little bit like a drumstick. And right here where the meaty part is, I want you to use the right hand, the knuckle, and just kind of right, do this. All right. Similarly, massage the right thumb and then do this. Okay. Now, very often, especially if you're right-handed, it doesn't matter, right-handed or left-handed, your thumbs start to hurt, right? And start to hurt, and so you would take some ibuprofen or some other pain-killing medicine, and it goes away, right? Now, the problem with that is that any kind of pain medicine that you take, whether in a tablet or a patch, ultimately goes into your kidney. The kidney has to filter all that. And so it puts a lot of strain on your kidney, which come back to us as we age, right? So I try to avoid pain medicine, but yet my thumb hurts a lot, right? Because I've been using my thumb since I was 3 years old, maybe even no, I've been using my thumb since I was in my mother's womb, right? Okay, so I discovered a very important energy point that would relieve the pain on my thumb, and it's kind of interesting one anyway. So let me show you, right? And you might have seen it. So I want you to take the right hand and just kind of lay it like this. I want you to take the left hand and just gonna cross it like this. I want you to take the index finger and just go over like as if it's a measuring tool. And then when you locate the top of the bone, I want you to put the left thumb on top, kind of balance it first. And as you push down, the bone kind of cracked. And that's actually a very interesting energy point that relieve the pain on the thumb. I use it all the time. Okay, use it all the time. And then same thing the other side. Cross index fingers, touch thumb, balance, and then just squeeze down, right? It cracks open. Cracks open. Very interesting. All right. So now we're done with the back of the hand. And so I come back to the palm. Now there's an energy point in the center of the palm that is a very important one. I call it the palace of labor. And it's actually located in between the index fingers and the middle fingers as you come down. And then it's right here. Okay. Now just kind of push it, do some acupressure with your thumb, similar on this side. And then use the knuckle again and go like this. Now, this is a very important energy point because it's part of the energy line called the pericardium, which is really all the muscles outside of your heart. So it's literally the heart, right? So do that. And then I want you to put those two energy points together. It's the only energy point in our entire body can put out energy. That's why we call it the healing hand. Okay? Put that together. We're going to come back to using the center of a palm, okay? Now I want you to take the right hand, put that on top of the left hand, using the center of your palm, this energy point, and just kind of massage the palm and the back of the hand, squeezing the fingers a little bit, and then come back to this side, squeezing the fingers a little bit. All right, so now we're ready to do some finger exercise. There are two sets. The first one, the traditional Chinese medicine doctor thinks that it would reduce your chance of having a stroke, or it would actually help with your physical therapy if you had a stroke. Okay, it's a very simple one, but don't forget that we're dealing with qi, dealing with energy, and we talk about the yin energy and the yang energy, and all the yang energy actually goes to your spine. So whatever it is that we do, it's not just about the body, it's about the chi. So we need to kind of sit properly. So I want you to stretch the spine again, starting at the very bottom of your spine, move towards the top of the head. And then I want you to lift up the shoulder. I'm combining the two into one now, the two exercise into one. And then I want you to open that shoulder, lean back, and then relax. Then I want you to take the hands up, the both hands, and touching the thumb and the index finger, and just squeeze as hard as you can. Now you will find that people who had a minor stroke, this is going to be very difficult for them, but it's a therapy. All right, so try to encourage them to do this. Now, then the thumb and the middle finger, and squeeze in the ring finger, squeeze as hard as you can. And the little finger, squeeze as hard as you can. Now come back to putting the thumb in the middle of the index finger, squeeze as hard as you can. 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 Now, how could these exercises be helpful to recovery from a stroke or reduce your chance of having a stroke? Is because stroke is when, as we know, is when little deposits in our blood vessel broke off and travel into our brain and start to block the micro vessels in the brain. That's what we call stroke. But the question is, where are these little deposits come from? They're called cholesterol. But why would you have cholesterol in your blood vessel to begin with? And it's because your blood vessels are inflamed. So it always comes back to inflammation, okay? And so I talked about earlier about how the North Indians, the yogis, think about chi. They think about chi, and they call it nadi, is the energy from the universe. And they understand that in order for us to be a healthy being, we need to make sure that we are part of the universe, that the energy from the universe actually flows through us. Without that, we're zombies. Think about that. Zombies have life too, but they have no life energy. So if your body deteriorates to a point where the energy doesn't flow freely through your body, it inflames. And when you inflames, you have all these other modern disease things. Simply like you have high blood pressure, you have cholesterol, high cholesterol, you have diabetes. So I recently read an article, and there's more and more article now that are focusing on inflammation. In fact, the motivation for understanding inflammation is that we have a aging population. So there's a new term now called inflammaging, that if you want to have a long health span, not just lifespan, then you want to be very careful about reducing inflammation in your body. Now, the North Indians, the yogis, they understand that. They understand that. And that's why they practice and to let the energy flow into the body. But it's a very complicated system. There's 72,000 nadis, and where the nadis cross, they call it chakras. And there's 114 chakras, seven of which exist in a human body. And you all know that if you study yoga. Now, when that idea came to China, the Chinese had always been an astronomer and an astrologist, so they always understand how we are influenced by the sun, and that's why we call it yang when in the presence of the sun, or the yin in the absence of the sun. And so they start to understand this energy flow in terms of the solar cycle, the 24-hour solar cycle. So they abstracted it to the 12 meridians. And along these 12 meridians, they separate into the yin away from the sun and the yang. And there's six of them that started with the fingers. There's six of them that started with the toes, but they travel all through the body. And it's actually um, uh, covers the 24-hour clock. And each of the meridians are active for 2 hours. It's not like the rest are non-active. You just have to think about it like a wave, right? The wave is pushing, and then it just everything else is pushing. Okay, so let's come back to practice now. I'm going to continue to talk. So next finger exercise has to do with neurological health, the brain health. So um, there's increasing understanding of dementia, right? Dementia, and increasing understanding that the beginning of dementia is not memory loss. So the idea that you deal with dementia patients by dealing with memory, that's at the later stage. The early stage is the lose of balance, is the lose of finger coordinations, and understanding that fingers is what separate the humans from the other species, right? Because we're the first one to learn how to use defensive tool, allowing us both defensive and offensive, allowing us to get down from the tree and then eventually become Homo erectus and Homo sapiens and all that. So the fingers are very important. And as your brain deteriorate, the coordination of the fingers are deteriorating. That's the first sign. Now, conversely, if you want to maintain your neurological health, you have to start with the fingers. Not just the fingers, but to separate the fingers one from the other and to separate the hand one from the other, eventually separating the function of the left brain from the right brain. Okay. So if you know anyone who suffers from dementia, you can tell because they can't stand on one foot. They can't. Their left brain and right brains are not functioning separately anymore. Okay, so this exercise is very interesting. It's all about the neurological health using the fingers. So let's come back to our spine. Stretch, open, lean back, relax. Now I want you to focus one hand at a time. Okay, the left brain controls the right hand, and the right brain controls the left hand. So I want you to bring out only the right hand. Then I want you to focus on one finger at a time, commanding the fingers one at a time. I want you to take the thumb, fold it into the palm of the center of your palm. Then I want you to take two fingers, fold that, then the index fingers and the little fingers. Then I want you to lower the right hand, raise the left hand, focus entirely on the left hand, and focus on one digit at a time. First the thumb, then two fingers, then index, then the little fingers. Put both of them down, then bring them both up again, and then squeeze as hard as you can. Squeeze as hard as you can. Then bring down the left hand, focus on the right hand. We're going to unfold the fist, but in reverse order. Little fingers, index, two fingers, thumb. Bring down the right hand, bring up the left hand, undo the fingers, little fingers, index, two fingers, thumb. Bring up both hands and then stretch the fingers as hard as you can. That's the first set. Now we're going to do two more. The second one, bring down the left hand, focus on the fingers one at a time. The thumb, two fingers, index, little fingers. Bring down the right hand, bring up the left hand, focus on one finger at a time, the thumb, two fingers, index, and the little fingers. Bring it back down, sit up straight, bring it back up, squeeze it as hard as you can, then bring down the left, focus on the right, reverse order, index, little finger, index, two fingers, thumb. Bring it down, left, little fingers, index, two fingers, and the thumb. Bring it both up. Stretch as hard as you can. Bring down the left, focus on the right. Thumb, two fingers, index, little fingers. Bring it down. Left, thumb, two fingers, index, little fingers. Bring it down. Bring it back up. Squeeze as hard as you can. Open the right hand, index, little finger, index, two fingers, thumb. Left hand, little fingers, index, two fingers, thumb. Bring both of them up. Stretch as hard as you can. Bring it back down and relax. Okay. It looks simple. It's not that. Easy to actually, separate the left from the right and the little fingers and maintaining focus at all times. Not so easy. It's all about the brain. Okay. All right. So now we're going to continue. We're going to do some tapping now. And sit up straight, open the shoulder, lean back, relax. Take the hands, okay? Now, touching the fingertips, focus on the fingertips. I'm going to tap that 30 times. Get ready, go. Okay, we're going to cross the fingers and tap that 30 times. Okay, now we're going to tap two very important energy points in the palm of a hand. One comes down from the little fingers and one comes from the thumb. So I mentioned the meridians, the energy line. These two are the yin energy line away from the sun. And this one has to do with the heart. There are two lines that are associated with the heart. The word heart meant both the physical heart and the mental heart. So this one is actually more on the mental side. So I want you to come down from the little fingers and locate this part of the thumb, very meaty part. Put that together, form a V, sit up straight 30 times. Okay, so this energy line is actually very important, especially for the aging population. As we age, we kind of lose the ability to concentrate, and that's because of this line is weak. It actually goes all the way down to here, and one important part is right here. So in the Western world, we talk about not losing muscle, and in the Eastern world, they also talk about not losing muscle, but in a very strategic part. So, for example, this one has to do with your mind. Okay, this one has to do right here. It's also muscle. Has to do with your lung, and then also the calf has to do with your the calf is called the second heart anyway. All right. Okay, so now we're going to move from the heart or the mind. It's very confusing. Chinese words are like that. That's why it's a problem, because a single word has no meaning in Chinese. Okay, so when you say chi, what does that mean? It can mean air, it can mean breath, it can mean attitude, it can mean anything you want. Okay, it's how you conjugate it with another word that has meaning. But that's a problem when they get translated into English. They use only one character. All right. Anyway, we come back to the thumb. We come down to here. We form a V, and we're going to tap that 30 times. Okay, now this is the yin side, so now we're going to work on the yang side. The yin side of the mind is actually the small intestine, which is kind of interesting because there's some study now that says that um, what's that disease called? Anyway, I'll come back. Parkinson is related to your your digested health, so that's the small intestine, right? Anyway, All right, so to find this energy point, you take your hand, you fold it, you see this line that goes across, and then you put that over here, like this. Okay, now you fold it flat. You form a soft fist, and you tap that 30 times. Okay, so I mentioned about high cholesterol. I mentioned about high blood pressure, and those are symptoms. They're symptoms of much deeper problem, and they're basically coming back to inflammation of the body, chronic inflammation of the body. So as we do exercise, I also talk about how why why do we have chronic inflammation, and what is it about what we do here that would reduce chronic inflammation? I'll do that. But now I'm going to introduce some energy points that are well known for reducing high blood pressure, and there's two sets, but they overlap. So high blood pressure and high cholesterol. Okay. All right. Crystal, we will come to carpal tunnel. Okay. In a minute. All right. So carpal tunnel is obviously inflammation, right? So the energy point here is called the emerging valley, is part of the large intestine. And so we're going to open that, see the valley. We're going to take this one and just put on top. Let's tap that 30 times first. And then the other side. Okay. Now, by the way, carpal tunnel mostly, in my experience, is always here, right? It's here. It's very painful. Right here is very, very painful. And the Western doctor, they don't have any cure. They just inject some steroid, and that's the key. Is the steroid. It's all about the steroid, and and so when we have inflammation, um, it's because we have too much steroid in the body. Where does the steroid comes from? The steroid is actually called cortisol, and it comes from your adrenal gland. And so when you're under stress all the time, right? Because the body, the evolution of the body is that when we're under the sun, away from a cave, that's when we're in danger. And when you're in danger, you have to be prepared to either run towards the animal or run away from them. And that's when the body is inflamed. But that's a temporary inflammation. And so the body will put out steroid, cortisol, to reduce inflammation. And then when you come back into the cave, right, into the comfort, then the body will switch from fight or flight to rest and digest. And that's the time that you recover and you maintain the sensitivity to that steroid. But modern people, they are under stress all the time, and they have lost the art of returning to the rest and digest, right? And so then your body have too much steroid, and your body develop what's called cortisol resistance. They're no longer sensitive to the way that your body heal itself. You loses your self-healing power. And so your body inflames even though your body's full of steroid. And the only thing that the doctor can do is to put more steroid into your body, which you know is a bad thing. But think about carpal tunnel. Carpal tunnel doesn't start here, although you feel it here. Carpal tunnel starts from the fingers. So the exercise that we just did actually helped with carpal tunnel, but we'll do more of that. All right. So now, so we're done with the fingers now, and so I want you to introduce you to some energy points as I go through that would help with both high cholesterol and high blood pressure, because both of which are related to inflammation. So come back to this merging valley. We're going to do some acupressure. And so I want you to open that again. And I want you to notice that ridge here. Then I want you to take the thumb and I want you to notice the line here. I want you to put them together and just push down with the thumb. and push down and feel how the body reacts. It's a little bit numb, okay, a little bit numb and maybe tendon, a little bit pain. And that turned out to be a very good exercise, not only to reduce uh, 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 stir, not cholesterol, reduce high blood pressure. It also is pain relief. It actually is relief pain in the rest of the body. So same thing on the other side. But on the other hand, I don't want you to think about what we do here as a point-to-point attack on whatever it is that you feel in your body. It's really to maintain harmony. Is to maintain harmony in your body. And when you find that uh, uh, um, as we maintain what we call the yin yang harmony, which in modern term would be to say that the harmony between the two autonomous neurological system, right? um, Being equally present in both the fight or flight and the rest and digest. That's how you maintain the harmony. And once you have that harmony, your body heals itself. And all these other things that you experience, they're just symptoms. The symptom goes away. The symptom just goes away. Okay, now the next point is very easy. It's called the bend, right? The palm at the bend. You just fold it, bend your, and then just do this, and then similarly do this. Now try not to pinch it with your fingernail, right? You used to flip out your thumb. Okay. All right. So now comes the part that really would help with carpal tunnel, which is scraping. Okay, scraping. And again, carpal tunnel is inflammation. Inflammation. When you use your fingers, you don't do the right kind of exercise, then your body inflame. And to reduce inflammation, you just have to unlock your self healing power. And so we do that by scraping, and you scrape with your knuckle, okay? Or you get something like that. There's all kinds of tools that you can buy from Amazon, right? And then now I want you to identify the inside of your hand. I want you to identify the center line. I want you to identify the elbow and the wrist, and then take the scraping tool and start at the elbow, move along until you get to the wrist, come back. Okay, now I want you to identify the bone, and the inside the bone is the lung meridian, again starting at the elbow and then to the wrist and back. And then I want you to identify the bone and just scrape on top of the bone. See if you feel any kinks, and if you have any kinks, that means that the cross flow between the meridians are blocked. Okay, now I want you to identify the outside of the bone and then come back. And then I want you to identify the center. That's what we call the triple warmer. And then now I want you to scrape the back of the hand, the fingers, and then the thumb, back to the fingers, the back of the hand. And then it's the center part, outside of the bone, on top of the bone, inside of the bone, and then the center. And then lastly is the one that I talk about, the mind. Right now, this one will help you sleep. Okay, oftentimes when your minds are not when you have a lot of things bothering you, you go to sleep and then you wake up as if you haven't slept because you didn't sleep deeply. And so this is the part that would help you, starting at the wrist, scrape about 4 inches. There are 4 energy points here, and then just come along here until you get to the elbow and back. And later on, we're going to do some, when we do I Ching Ching, this is, we will do this, okay? All right, the other side, do this, the center part, and then the wrist, come back, and then inside of the bone, and then back, the top of the bone, and back, outside the bone, and back, and then the center line, and then the back of the hand, the fingers, the back of the hand. Once again, the center, outside the bone, on top of the bone, inside the bone, and then the center line, and then also that the heart meridian or the mind meridian, all the way to the elbow. Okay, all right. So So Crystal and so just don't think of it as just one exercise. It's actually the just as carpal tunnel, just another symptom. You can have carpal tunnel, you can have frozen shoulder, you can have what's called the Dowager bump. It's all because the chi is blocked. Okay, the chi is blocked. All right. So let me. I'll come back to your question, Michelle, on sleep in a minute, and so the next exercise will really help with carpal tunnel. Okay, so um, I assume that your sister probably uses her finger a lot, which could be computer, iPhone, mouse. Could be that she's a sushi chef. Anybody who uses finger, we all use our fingers, right? And so this one will really help with carpal tunnel. This is what I use. So I even today, I mean even nowadays, I would find myself scraping all the time, scraping all the time, scraping all the time, and it will relieve the pain, right? Relieve the pain. The pain is not the issue. It's the pain is just a symptom, and it's inflammation that is the issue. All right. Now the Chinese know all about that for thousands of years. That's why the word qi has two ways of writing. The more modern way is about the air and the nutrient, the rice. So that's really more about the breath. Whereas the old way, so when you look at qi in the old way, it's about two words. It basically means no fire. It's to reduce inflammation. All right. Okay, so let's do the next exercise. We'll get back to the finger again. And so I want you to come back to the spine, stretch the spine, lift up the shoulder, open the shoulder, lean back, and then relax. Then I want you to take the hands and pointing all 10 fingers towards the camera, roll up the four fingers. These are the springs. Lock down the springs with your thumb. Wind up the springs, lock your elbow, okay? Wind up the springs and then go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, it's a simple exercise. So, you need to take a break from your work, and this is something you can do. I do this all the time when I fly, right? You're stuck on the plane for 14 hours going from here to Hong Kong or whatever. There's not much room to do exercise. This is a good one. This is very good. Now, the next one, similarly, work on carpal tunnel, but also work on frozen shoulder. And so again, lift up your shoulder, lean back, relax. Okay, so open this energy point. This is called the gate to the cloud. It's part of the lung energy line. Then I want you to take the hands, middle fingers and thumb touching. The other three stretch out. This is called the lotus hand. Put that on your gate to the cloud. Open that shoulder again. Sit up straight. Notice that my back of the hand is facing the camera. And then get ready. Go 1, back of the hand facing the camera. Come back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. Now let me come back to high blood pressure. High blood pressure is very serious. It says that you have a lot of problem, underlying problem in your body. The worst you can do with high blood pressure is to take high blood pressure medicine, because the body is telling you that there's something wrong with your body, and you're killing the only weakness that there is, which is your blood pressure. And so half of the reason why you have high blood pressure is because you don't have enough oxygen into your brain. Okay? The chi is blocked here. The chi doesn't go up to the top of the head. So when you take high blood pressure medicine, then it knocks down the pressure even more. And so the next two energy points has to do with high blood pressure. And so we sit up straight. We lift up our shoulder, we open the shoulder, we lean back and we relax. Then we take a hand, we lock the fingers, put that behind the head, we look straight up, right? Then we take a thumb and we slide down to the first set of cavity. This is called the wind, the chi, the pond of wind. Now, wind is something that you cannot see, cannot taste, cannot smell, you can only feel. So, wind element is what the Chinese refer to as your neurological system. And so, I want you to push down on this two cavity, lean back with your neck, maintain the pressure. You feel a little bit of tenderness, numbness, that's fine. And then I want you to like release your fingers, okay? As if you just squeeze on the rubbing hose and you're releasing it now, so more energy flow through. Then I want you to take the right hand, put that on the left hand side, push down with the four fingers, lean back with your forehead, maintain that pressure, and then I want you to grab the left side of the neck and pull it onto the right side as if you're opening the channel. Then I want you to take the right hand, the left hand, do the same thing on the right side, push down with the fingers, and then pull the right side towards the left. Now we're going to do some massage. We're going to take the right hand, put that underneath the ears, and then just kind of massage. Ask yourself to relax and then relax. I want you to take the left hand, put that on the right side, do the same thing, and then relax, and then relax. I want you to take the left hand and put that on top of the ear, bring it down, relax, relax, relax. And then same thing on the other side, relax, and relax. All right. And then now I want you to take the thumbs and put that on top and do a little bit of massage now. And then I want you to move towards the ear in the middle, on top of the bone. Now, these two energy points actually helps with your sleep. So just do that. Then I want you to put the thumb on one side and finger on your side and just kind of squeeze your neck like this. Okay, now this is the first set of energy points that will help with high blood pressure. The next set is actually in the middle of the neck. You can squeeze that too. And then I want you to reach into your clothes and then get down to here and squeeze that. Okay. And then now we're going to work on the left side of the neck. I want you to take the right hand, use the index finger, use the edge, and just kind of scrape on the left side of your neck from the bottom of the ear down. Then I want you to massage the shoulder, all of that, right? You need to relax to, to get a good night's sleep, but also reduce your high blood pressure. And then reach down, there's a cavity here. Reach over where we were before, reach to the shoulder, all these cavities, just kind of massage, all right? And then same thing, scrape, and then top of the shoulder, bottom, behind, on the left, on the right, and then massage the shoulder. Okay, so fundamentally, the reason that you cannot sleep, and my brother has suffered from dementia, not dementia, insomnia like that for years. And when I saw him last week, I noticed that his eye is all black. And I said, you need to fix that. You need to fix that. So hopefully, he's opened the idea of our exercise routine. He might have. He actually liked my comment on Facebook, so he might actually be watching this. But in any case, you cannot sleep because you don't have melatonin in your body, and you don't have melatonin in your body because you have too much cortisol. They all come back to the cortisol. So you need to learn to put yourself in in the rest and digest. Okay, and one indication that you're stuck in the fight or flight is that your mouth is always dry. And so hydration is important, but that's missing the point. It's self-hydration that is important. And you need to be sure that you have enough saliva, because when you're in fight or flight, the first thing it does is turn off your saliva gland, because you don't need digestion when you're running away from the lion. You don't need immunity, and you don't obviously don't need um, what's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, it shuts down all your other biological function, including the release of melatonin. So you just need to learn how to. It's not just about relaxation. It's really about exercising in such a way that um, puts you in the fight or flight. So we alternate. We alternate, and in the end, both are techniques to put you in the rest and digest, so that you can um, reactivate your saliva gland, reactivate your immune system, your digestive system, and your what's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Your self healing power, right? So it's not just about 1 to 2 exercise. All right. So um, that's really it's there's no one thing that you do to help you sleep. Is many things. Okay. All right. So my blood pressure tend to be low or high. Participate in these. Okay. The Chinese, they don't care whether your blood pressure is high or low. They're really more about having the body regulate itself. Okay. So you find that if you go to the web and say, well, what if I have low blood pressure? Then what do I do? It's the same energy point, whether you have low or high. Okay. All right. So now we're going to come back to more massaging our face, and then eventually get to the top of the head. You notice that we always start at the extremities, the fingers, the ears, the top of the head, the face, and all that. That's because when the energy flows, they flow in a loop. So it has to get to the end first before it comes back. So if your energy lines are stuck at the extremities, it basically gets stuck. Okay. All right. So we're going to come back now to the face. So first we come back to our old friend, the center of a palm, and use a knuckle, and then use a knuckle, and then put that together, and then kind of generate some energy. Now, I want you to put that in front of your eye, but the way you do that is that you use the empty hand, so you're not pushing into your eyeball. You put that in front of your eye, and you can actually open your eye. It's up to you. But if you open your eye, I want you to see just total darkness, which means that you have to adjust your fingers so that you don't let any light comes in, right? Because we only want to see infrared right now. The infrared is coming from the center of your palm. So get ready. Now, it's important that you focus, right? You use your mind and focus on the center of your palm. And then you put that onto your eye. You don't feel much in the first time. Then the second time, you feel a lot more warm because your eye is adjusting to the infrared right now. And then one last time. And then put that. Okay, so now I want you to massage the face, massage the side of the face. And then I want you to use this energy point, put that on your temple, and then massage that. And then I want you to massage the forehead. But before that, I want you to massage in between the eyebrow. This turned out to be a very important point if you want to just relax before you go to sleep. Then I massage the forehead. Then I want you to massage the tip right here, this energy point right here. Massage the top of the head, understanding that that's the part of your head responsible for all your cognitive function. Be grateful. And then the back of the head is the memory. The lower part of the head is all the motor functions. And then the neck, above the ears, back to the face. Okay. Now we're going to massage around the eyes. Okay. There's 3 energy points above the eye, 3 below. So I want you to take the index finger and put that in the beginning of the eyebrow. You can feel it. There's a cavity there. So I want you to push in with your index finger. Sit up straight. Use a little bit of neck muscle to provide the counter pressure. Okay. And then I want you to massage the eyebrow by putting the index fingers in between the eyebrow and massage the eyebrow as if you're squeezing a toothpaste. And then Now I want you to massage right below the eyebrow, right below the eyebrow. And that's where the oil tubes are. Okay, so as we age, we find ourselves having very dry eyes. That's not because you don't have enough eye tears. So you can add artificial tear, but that's not really the problem. The problem is that you don't have enough oil. The oil tubes are all stuck, and so there's no oil into the eye, and the water evaporate. Okay, so make a habit of massaging below the eyebrow, and then now I'm going to massage the tip to the beginning to the end, and the other side. Okay. Now we're going to come back to the corner of the eye and move up slightly so you're feeling the socket, eye socket. And then I want you to sit up straight and put some pressure on that. And I want you to close your eyes. I'm going to do some eye exercise now. Close your eyes, turn your eyeball up as if you're looking at the ceiling, to the right, and then lower part as if you're looking at the floor. Now to the left, back to upper position. We're gonna start. Okay, get ready. Up, right, down, left. Up, right, down, left. Up, right, down, left. Back to up. Okay, now we're gonna turn the other way. Left, down, right, up. Left, down, right, up. Left, down, right, up. And then relax. These 2 points are called the bright eye. Okay, and then now we take the 2 fingers and then kind of massage like this all the way down to the chin, all the way down. Now we take the thumb and just go down until you feel the cheekbone, and then you kind of push up. Now these 2 points also help with your sleep. Then we're going to put that outside the nostril. This would help with your sinus, put some pressure on that. And then we're going to massage the neck. Okay. Yeah, infrared. Infrared means heat, right? That's where heat comes from. Heat is infrared. Okay, so now we're going to massage the ear. Now, this energy point right here has the same name as this energy point. So I talk about how this is the mind. This one will help you sleep. So this. And that's because the ears has the shape of the fetus. And the ear actually reflects your entire body. There are 260 energy points in your ear, but they're upside down. So this one has the same benefit as this, but this one is actually more about your adrenal gland. Okay, so now we're going to massage the top part by putting the thumb inside, the fingers outside. And then we're going to put the thumb in the middle and massage. Then we're going to take the index finger and massage. Now we're going to massage the tip, yank, massage the edge, massage the ear loop, yank. Now we're going to put the thumb behind the ear loop and the index finger outside of the ear canal, and we're going to massage that. Now we're going to massage the back of the ear, which is an important part for reducing blood pressure. And so we do that by noticing the fold of the ear, and we're going to massage the top all the way down. Then we're going to take 2 fingers, one on the ear, one on the skull. We're going to massage that. The back of the ear is a very well-known area for reducing blood pressure, okay? Because it works on your entire body. And then the other side. And then 2 fingers. We're going to do one more exercise of the ear called drumming the ear. Take 2 hands, put that behind us. I'm going to stretch the ear. We're going to close the ear, and then we're going to say 1, 2, 3, and then, okay, that's it. All right. Where exactly are you putting the thumb? Can you turn your head to the side so we can see which part, Lina, when I do the ear? Okay. All right. So now we're going to do the top of the head. Now, the top of the head, the energy point. Oh. The thumb? Oh, right here. Okay. You see the ear bends back? Yeah, just put it right here. Like this. Okay. All right. Okay, so now we're going to work on the top of the head. The top of the head has a very important energy point called the 100 beat. This is where all the yang energy come together. This is an energy point well known for reducing high blood pressure. So we're going to sit properly, stretch, lift, open, lean back, relax. Now we need to lean back the forehead and tuck in the chin so that the top of the head is on top of our spine. Then we're going to take 10 fingers and we're going to put that on the top of the head. We're going to tap that 30 times. Get ready? Go. Okay, all right. So we're going to do some more tapping. And there are 8 cavities that are very well known for tapping. And understanding is that they are to improve your immune system. Now, as it turns out, if you look at it through the eyes of the modern science, there are the areas where there are your basically your lymphatic system, your lymph nodes. So first one is here, second one's here, and then there's 2 more in the lower part of the body. So let's do this one first. So let's stretch, open, lean back, and relax. Let's take our elbow, put that on top of the head so we can stretch this part. Then we're going to pinch the upper part. And then we're going to take your right hand, empty hand, put that on your armpit, turn your head to the right. Get ready, go. Continue. Then go do the other side, put that on top. Sit up straight, pinch the left ear, the upper part of the left ear, turn your head to the left. Empty hand, get ready, go. Continue. Okay, now we're going to work on the second set, which is at the elbow. So we're going to lock the elbow, and then we're going to take the right hand, again, empty hand, fingers on top, and then palm on the side. Lift it up so the hands at this eye level. Turn your head to the right. Listen with the left ear. Get ready. Wake up. The other side. Get ready. Wake up. Okay, so for those of you who practice yoga, I think that you need to understand the origin of the yoga practice. It's a spiritual practice, and there are something called the 8 limbs of yoga. And so if you think about what we do this week and what we do last week, there you can think of it as focusing on one or the other. Today is more about asana, right? And that the Western yoga is also more about asana. It's more about the body. And then last week or the week next week is more about the breath. It's called pranayama. Okay, so you can also think of it like this. All right, so now we're going to move to the lower part of our body. The lower part of the body is just as important. The upper part is more about your lung and your heart. And the lower part is more about your metabolics, your kidney, your liver, and your splint. Okay. Now, first we're going to work on the inside of a thigh. The inside is yin, and the first energy point, you start with the knee. You measure 3 fingers in. This is part of the splint. Okay. And this one actually is a very famous point for reducing your cholesterol. So we're going to use a soft fist and then just 30 times. And then inside, that's the liver. And then now close your knee. We're going to go from the liver to the gallbladder, which is the yang side. First two energy points, and well known for reducing your chance of having a stroke. Back to stroke again. Get ready, go. Second one. And then now we're going to go below the knee. Below the knee, the first energy points, if you slide your fingers here, you get to a point where you can't go anymore. And this too is very well known for improving your immune system. If you go to acupuncturists, they always put a needle in here. Get ready? Go. And then the middle. And then now the lower one, you go to the angle first. You measure 4 fingers on the side. Okay, this is called the ringing bell. So you feel some tingling on your toes. Get ready? Go. Okay, pay special attention to your toes. They're the furthest away from your heart, and if you don't have enough circulations, they're the first one to go. All right, so if you notice that your fingernail, your toes are deteriorating or anything with the toe, pay special attention to that, especially when you're diabetic. All right, okay. Now we to the stomach. The stomach and the splint is one pair. They are the soil element. Okay, the kidney and the bladder is the water element. The lung and large intestine, they're the mineral element. So soil element is actually the most is very important. They're the cradle of life, whereas the water is the prerequisites of life. And so when you think about soil, you think about the two main functions. One is transportation, and the other one is transformation, right? Transportation means that the soil has to be able to channel water. You need water, but you don't want too much. So this one, if you have any kind of swelling in your body, that means your ability to channel water has lost. Turns out that is the lymphatic system that returns the water into your heart. And so if you have swelling, that's a very bad sign. It means that your immune system is shot. Okay, so, but also, if you have, if your body doesn't transform the resources better, you start to have, in the Chinese way of understanding is that your blood turns viscous, too viscous. And so turns out that these two energy points are important for cholesterol, and it's also important for high blood pressure. So the first energy point is right here. So you locate the knee, you go down 4 fingers, you locate the bone on the outside of the bone. So you put your knees together, so you're going from the front to the back, on the outside of the bone, not on the bone. Okay, get ready, go. Okay, now you go further down, 4 fingers. Again, locate the bone on the outside of the bone from the front. Okay, get ready, go. Okay, so these two are important energy points, especially this one in terms of helping the digestion. So then we get to this one, which is at the bottom of the calf. This is called the second heart and is highly associated with dementia and also with high blood pressure. So you first put the bottom of the calf on your right knee and you squeeze like this. It hurts. Then you do 30 times. Do the same thing on the other side. Put the bottom of the calf on the left knee and then 30 times. Okay, so I've mentioned many times that UC San Francisco has done. UC San Francisco has an incredible dementia research center, and unfortunately, if you want to get an appointment with a neurologist, it's a year worth of waiting. There's just that many people right now suffering from dementia. But in any case, they did a study, and they basically says that mindful walking is the best deterrent to dementia because you're going to exercise this point. Okay, mindful walking, and you'll find that when we do the floor exercise, we do this jump at the end. That's for that. All right. Okay. So now we're going to work on the toes. We're running out of time, but it's important that we do this. Okay. Now we're going to work in between the big toe and the second toe the same way that we work in between the thumb and the index finger. So you first take the thumb, use the edge, fit that between the bones, massage, and then before the bone comes together, you push down. Now, this energy point is part of the liver energy point, and the Chinese doctor always talk about liver fire, right? Meaning that you have inflammation in your body, and that's what they meant. And so this one actually helps both your cholesterol and your high blood pressure. Then I want you to take the big toe, bend it back. You see this tendon, scrape that. And then relax, scrape the bottom of your feet, scrape the heel, scrape the ball area, and then massage the toes. Then I want you to scrape the arch. Then I want you to scrape between the ankle and the knee and feel the bone in the inside of that. So if you have any kind of swelling of your feet, this is the part that you want to work on. Clear that split energy line. Okay, now I want you to come back, and it's right here at the bottom of the ball area. And this is the important one for your high blood pressure because it's the kidney. And the kidney, the essence of the kidney is the bone marrow, and the bone marrow travels up the spine all the way to the top of the head to your brain. Okay. Now I want to tap the center part of your feet by bending back the toes, by forming an empty hand. And now we call this mixing the water and fire. This is fire, this is water. Get ready? Go. Continue. Okay, now we're going to work on the right hand, right side. And scraping in between the big toe. The name of the hospital is in San Francisco, is part of the University of California system. So it's just called UCSF Dementia Center. Okay, so it's easy to find. All right, so now turn it back and then focus on that. I mean, scrape the tendon, relax, take the bottom of the feet, scrape the back, scrape the front, and then massage the toes, scrape the arch, and then scrape the inside, from the ankle to the knee. Okay, and then do some acupressure on this energy point called the gushing spring. And then fold back the toes, and then form an empty hand. Get ready, go. Continue. Okay. Now, I'm sorry about your father. My father died a couple of years back. It was a long journey for him and the rest of the family, especially me and my mom. And now, when we're done with the class today, which we will go over time, so I hope you can stay with me, we will talk about Dharma again. And we're going to move step by step. And today I'm going to be talking about positivity. So there's this idea that if we ignore negativity, then we're automatically positive. And so that's why there's big discussion last week about bringing politics into our class and how it was much more positive in the past. So we have this idea here that if we avoid negative, then it's positive, which is not true. You need to engage the negative in order to be positive. You need to engage the negative, you need to feel it, accept it, and then let go of the negative before you can truly have positive. So one of the worst things about being um, a caregiver for someone who suffers from dementia, especially if it is your family member, especially if it's your father, someone you love all your life, is that you don't know how to deal with the negative because you never have the experience of engaging it. You always are taught to avoid it. And so most of the students who come to this class, they want to avoid the negative. They want to avoid all the negativity in the rest of the world. And they think of this as a sensory deprivation chamber. They think that that is meditation. That is not meditation. Meditation is about engaging the negativity. And so if you don't know how to engage negativity and you see your father decaying day by day in front of you, it's a very, very, very difficult process. You have to understand that dementia is not a mental disease. It's no different than any other physical disease, just like the heart, the lung, the liver, whatever. It is just a degradation of a particular organ. And in this case, it's the brain, right? Now, you notice that when I massage, I mention the part that is responsible for our cognitive function, the part that is responsible for our memory, the part that is responsible for our motor function. And when you're that close contact with someone who's suffering from dementia, it's all three happening at the same time. So the cognitive function is easy to understand. The memory function is much more harder to understand. It's not that they don't remember. They cannot connect with their memory, with what they see. So the worst thing you can do is to keep asking the person to remember you. They don't remember you because what their memory of you is different from what they see. So you need to accept that. You need to accept that. And you need to kind of position yourself as the caregiver and not the daughter or the son. Because by keep insisting that you are the daughter and the son and keep forcing them to recognize you as the father and son just makes the thing worse. Okay? I mean, I can go on, but that's why we practice, is to understand how to deal with our negative emotion, right? The negative emotions comes at you like a storm, okay? Like a storm when you're confronted with one of the memory. Okay, let's continue with the tapping on the back of the knee. Now, the back of the knee actually helps with the lower back, because the lower back is where the kidneys are, and if your kidney energy is weak, you have lower back problem. So I want you to kind of massage the lower back first, and then I want you to stand straight, and then just move your hand down as you lean forward, and then bend the knee. Okay, the idea is that you want to straighten out your back when you do this, and then just go one, and then continue. Okay, now the last cavity is right here. Okay, so form a fist, put that here. Get ready, 30 times. Okay, all right, so now we're ready for our exercise of the day, something called Yi Jing Jing. And I mentioned in the beginning of the class that unfortunately is a mistranslation. We translate into the exchange of the tendon, except that it Jing in this case doesn't mean tendon, it means connected tissue. Okay, so it's really about the channel of energy using the connected tissue as the conduit. So this, by the way, is a very good exercise. You're very fortunate to know this exercise, and hopefully, this exercise will be your companion as you age, because it combines all of the important exercise: stretching, cardio, and then muscle building. Okay. All right. So first, we're going to focus on the bottom of the feet, and the bottom of the feet is called the gushing spring. The top of the shoulder is called the well on the shoulder. So we want to put the well on top of the gushing spring. Then you want to rotate the toes inward, bend your knees slightly, so you activate the second heart. This is the part that actually maintains the cognitive health. All right. Then I want you to lean back, the forehead, tuck in the chin, so the top of the head is on top of the center part of your body. And so the first exercise is called um, spirit boosting palm. So you're basically sending a shockwave through the core of your upper torso all the way to the top of the head, and then it comes back. So you do that by locating the center of your palm. You put that right on the outside, not in front, not in the back. Okay. Now, when I say go, you need to be sure that your mind and your body are together, and using your mind as much as your muscle. You ready? Go. And now it's important that you relax. You're going from the fight or flight back to the rest and the digest. The whole purpose of the exercise is to maintain the harmony between the autonomous nervous system, the yang, which is fight or flight, and the yin, which is rest and digest. So it's important that you relax, you focus, you don't have any other thoughts, you just focus on your breath. You feel that you're breathing in, and you feel that you're breathing out. And you do that for twice. Like, no, I'm breathing in, and no, I'm breathing out. And then you check the inside of your mouth to see if your inside of the mouth is wet. Okay? If you're actually in rest and digest, then the saliva gland will be turned on again, and you will feel the inside of your mouth. You notice that it's almost hour and a half. I have not. I'm talking all the time, and I'm still swallowing my saliva. Okay. Okay, ready? Second time. Open the shoulder. Go. And then back to the breath. One last time. Open the shoulder. Go. And then back to the breath. Check your saliva. The second one is called pointing the wantel, which is the name of this energy point. You don't need to touch, just kind of point to it. You roll up your fingers, and then you lift up your thumb as if you're lifting up 2 buckets of water. You're activating both the lung and the large intestine. So this is the mineral. And then you relax. You don't lower your hand, you just relax. You maintain the energy loop. Second one. And then relax again. One last time. And then you relax, you lower your hand. The next one is called the beginner's mind. Now, a lot of our practice goes back to when we were inside the mother's womb. This is one of them. The babies always hold their fingers like this. The human beings are the only ones where you stick a finger into the palm, they will hold it. Okay, this is our genetic. So you put your thumb across, you roll up your fingers, and you squeeze your fists as hard as you can, and then you relax, come back to the breath. Second time, and then relax. One last time, and then relax. Lower your hand. Now we take a deep breath. We put the fists together, put that right below the belly button. We go from here to here. Breathe in. Relax. Now we bring our elbows together. Fist remains in front of our nose. We're going to focus on the back, and we're going to stretch the back. And then relax. One breath. 2 breaths. Second time. So relax. 1 breath. 2 breaths. One last time. Relax. 1 breath. 2 breaths. Okay. Now the next one is called fists on top of the head. So you take the fist, you bring it on top of the head, you open your shoulder, you open your fist, then you roll your fist 1, 2, lock it with your thumb, and you squeeze. You're doing cardio here with your heart. You're squeezing your fingers as if you're pushing all the blood into your heart, and then you let go. Let the blood come back to the fingertips. Second time. And then relax. Focus on your breathing. One last time. Open your shoulder and then relax. The next one is called stabbing the shoulder. Your focus should be on the back of your neck where we're doing the massage. So you open your shoulder, you grab 2 daggers, you point your daggers onto your shoulder, and you stab. You feel the tightness in the back of the neck, and then you relax. After 2 breaths, open again, stab. You have to point the dagger into your shoulder, huh? And then you relax. One last one, stab. And then relax. 1 breath, 2 breaths. The next one's called a cross. Now this one actually very important. So we actually repeat it twice, one in the side, one in the front. It's all about stretching the upper part of the arm. Remember, we were scraping that. And I kind of briefly mentioned that it's called the triple warmer. It's a mistranslation. It basically meant the entire organ. It's separating the internal into 3 parts. Okay, when I have time, explain that. Now, the way to do that is that you lock your elbow, then you rotate your wrist. Remember, there's a lot of energy points on the wrist. Then you roll your fist, you take a deep breath, and you push. And then you relax. Second time. And you push as hard as you can, and then relax. One last time. And you push, and then relax. Next one is called front hanging. It's the same thing. Lock your elbow, rotate your wrist, roll your fist, take a deep breath, and you push as if you're pushing against the wall, and then relax. One breath. Very important to relax. Very important to pay attention to your breath. Very important to make sure that you have slivers in your mouth. Second time, and you push, and you relax. And then the third time, and you push, and then you relax. Now, the next two is about muscle. You lift up your hand, you look up, you see this bar across, you grab the bar. It's all about this muscle right here. And you pull yourself up as hard as you can, and then you relax. Second time, and then you relax. Third time, and then relax. We continue. I call this ripping the phone book, and it's about muscle right here. Okay, and you grab the phone book, half on one side, half on the other, and you rip, and then relax. Back to the breathing. Get ready to swallow the saliva. So, second time, relax. One last time, and then relax. And then we swallow to the down 10. Take your saliva, collect, swallow. Now you check your go stand. Okay, you don't want to be standing, locking your elbow, your knee. Okay, but the next exercise is all about your kidney. So you straighten up your back of the hand touching, and you lower your upper torso without standing up. And then you stretch your elbow, so you're locking your elbow, and you're looking straight down, and you squeeze your fist 3 times, back of the hand touching. Second time, back of the hand touching. Third time, back of the hand touching. Now we get to the finale, we flip the hand, we take a deep breath without standing up, and then go. And then breathe in, lower your knee, palm facing forward, focus on that big rock in front of you, go push. Then you take a deep breath, and then relax. Now it's almost 9 o'clock, so we don't have that much time. But I still want you to do a meditation. It's very important that we meditate after we do this exercise. I mentioned how we don't call it Qigong because it's actually exercise with the mind as well. So the original word is called Nai Gong, inner energy, inner practice. It's the body and the mind. So after energetic exercise, we're going to come back and do meditation. So a friend who wants to know how she can improve her sleep or helping her sister, I don't remember which, then you wanted to learn how to meditate properly. And so we start with our posture, starting with our legs. Make sure that you're not using any muscle. Put some blankets and pillows so you're not lifting up your legs. You want to relax your hands. No need for hand gesture, just relax. Then we come back to a good friend, the spine. We stretch the spine towards the ceiling. We lean back and relax. Now there's a bit of refinement here, if you want, which is after you stretch, you lean forward first. And then you lean back. And when you lean back, you try to keep your hip in place so that hip is actually forward. As you lean back, you feel the pressure on your lower back, and that's what you want. Okay? You keep moving back while holding the hip in place. Then you lift up your shoulder. You open your shoulder. You relax your shoulder. Then you lean back the forehead so that the weight is on top of your spine. You're not using neck muscle. And you tuck in your chin so the top of the head is on top of your spine. This is called the one pillar supporting the sky. You are the center of the universe. The energy of the universe now flows through you. You want to close your eye, but you don't shut it tight. We call the eye the shades, the window shade. So just lower it. You can actually see some light coming through. Finally, you want to take the tip of the tongue and put it behind here. There's an energy point here, which is where your teeth meets the roof of your mouth. This does three things. It turns on your saliva gland, forces you to into the rest and digest. It connects electrically between the two uh, primary channel, the one in the back where all the yang energy goes, and the one in the front where all the yin energy goes. It also forces all your salivas into your stomach or into your lungs, so you won't be choking on it. Once we do all that, we focus on the belly button. And when we know that we're breathing in, we move the belly button forward. When we know that we're breathing out, we move the belly button back. When you can sit with the hip forward and upper torso back, putting pressure on the lower back, you're now in a position to energize the chi from the kidney. Kidney is water. The only way to add life into the water is with mineral. The mineral is the lung. So that's why you combine the two. You breathe in, you open the stomach. You breathe out, you take the stomach back, belly button back. You're going to sit for 3 minutes. This is called mindful of the body to cultivate the chi. The chi is inside your lower abdomen. Breathe in, move forward. Breathe out, move backward. One breath at a time. Now we're going to sit for another 3 minutes before the end of class. And now what we're going to do is we're going to focus on the lower back, let go of a breath, and just feel a breath. Feel that I'm breathing in. You notice that your stomach opens when it does that. You feel that you're breathing out. You feel that your stomach collapses slightly. What you're doing is you're actually now utilizing the diaphragm. That's how the babies sleep, by the way. If you ever notice a newborn, the stomach moves when they breathe, because that's how they were inside the mother's womb, not to breathe. The lung doesn't breathe inside the womb, or that they might not even have a lung yet. But what they do is they're using their diaphragm to transport the nutrients through the umbilical cord. That's how they work. But at the same time, when they do that, they actually generate chi in the lower abdomen because they're massaging the small intestines as it develops, generating static electricity. Now what we want to do is we want to bring that electricity through our spine. So as soon as you know that you're breathing in, I want you to move from the lower part of your spine towards the top of the head slowly, and I want you to stretch the spine until you get to the top of the head. And then when you feel that you're breathing out, I want you to go from the top of the head to the forehead, to the nose, to the tongue, towards the belly button. And as you do that, I want you to do this. I want you to lean back, relax, and at the same time, as if you let all your trouble settle. Okay? So you feel, as you do that, you feel some lightness of your head because you're letting go of your negative emotions. Just let it settle. And when you breathe in again, I want you to rise from the spine, feel the energy in your spine as it comes up. And then when you breathe out, let all your anxiety, all your anger, all your negative emotions settle into your stomach. 3 minutes, okay? And then we end the class. Okay, open your eyes. All right, so we are 10 minutes after 9 o'clock. Thank you for staying with me. But it is very important that after we do the Yi Jing Jing, which is a very, very energetic exercise, that we spend equal time on meditation and to balance our autonomous system so that we have the harmony between the fight or flight and the rest and digest. Both are important. The fight or flight is when the body releases stress hormone, cortisol, steroid, to reduce the inflammation in your body. That's your self-healing. But then at the same time, you need to come back equal time to the rest and digest so that you can restore the sensitivity. Okay. The problem that we have is that it's not that we don't have enough steroid in the body, is that we have too much. And so that is that balance. So whether you want to improve your sleep, whether you want to deal with your carpal tunnel or your high blood pressure or your cholesterol, it's all about inflammation. And the reason that we have inflammation is that we have lost our ability to heal ourselves, right? This body is designed perfectly almost, right? Okay. I want to spend time on the Dharma talk, but I noticed that there's some comments about taking care of family members who suffer from dementia. So stop talking in a minute and stop typing in a minute. And you go back because every time you type it rolls. And so someone by the name of Sassy Agonian, she said, yes, I have the honor and the privilege of loving my grandfather through the entire Alzheimer process when I was a young girl. She knew I loved her even when it did not fit in his understanding. Sometimes he called me names of other beloved family members from his childhood, and always they were loving people, and I have always treasured these moments of connections. Now, it turns out that children's it's kind of ironic, but children's are actually much better caregivers because they don't judge. They don't judge. I mean, obviously, they don't have enough physical ability to take care of the ills. But it's ironic that they're just full of loving kindness, so they don't judge. I want to share with you a story, a real-time story, a personal story. So, take care of my father for a few years, and in his dying days, and I kind of think that he only had maybe at most 3 days left, because it was the signs points but he was still very calm. I chant with him. I To a point where I would use my fingers to chant with him. So I would chant like this with the fingers while I'm making sounds. But in any case, there was a point where I was really, really tired, and my brother happened to come to visit him. They live very far away, so they're not always there. And so when they come, I said, I'm going to go home and take a nap, take a shower. It's been a tough few days. And then I said something like, now, please don't make so much noise. This is not a party. And my brother got really upset. We had this sibling rivalry going on for many years. And he looks at me and he was really angry. And he says, how dare you criticize me in front of my family? You have your religious belief, I have mine, right? Everybody grieves differently. I look at him and says, grieving comes after a father died, not before. Right now, it's not about you. It's not about me. It's about him. It doesn't matter what religion you believe you have. You always know that we want them to move towards light, not darkness. So whether you believe that they move to the final resting place or you believe that they have a chance to do it again, it doesn't really matter. You just want them to go to a place of light. And so your job is not just to help them with the physical suffering. You have to understand that they also have mental suffering. Everything that happens in the past is come rushing back. My father grew up in World War II. When the Japanese invaded China, he had witnessed famine, death. He had witnessed all kinds of injustice. and it all come rushing back. And you need to work with that as much as the physical part. And it's never about you. You need to put your ego aside. That's why we train. That's why we do what we do. Is that we always learn to put our ego aside. How do we do that? We train our body and our breath so that we become extremely sensitive to our body and extremely sensitive to our breath. They're like the canaries in the cave. And when you have a negative emotion, you don't know it. You're so blind by your rage and your despair and your anger and your sorrow and all that. You don't know, but your body knows. And your breath knows. And they're the one that tells you, hey, don't go down into that spiral because it's not helping anyone. It's not helping anyone. You can do all that afterwards, not right now. Right now, your grandfather, your father, anyone that is that you're trying to help is the folk. It takes a lot of skill. Now, let me transition now to the talk that I want to give today. And let me see if I can find it. Okay. Now, um, before the pandemic, I used to spend more time in the prison once a week. I would volunteer at San Quentin. And it was all about confronting our past, confronting our negativity. It's not about avoiding it. These days, since the pandemic, my schedule has changed. I actually teach 6 days a week now, including this one. And so my Sunday is a little occupied for my own salvation. And so I only go to prison once or twice a year now. But in any case, the Buddhist practice is all about confronting and engaging. It's not about avoiding. And that's one of the misunderstanding of meditation in the Buddhist practice. I remember when I was running my own business, I spent many years as a salesperson, chief sales officer, basically. And I learned that there are two things you don't talk about. You don't talk about politics and you talk about religion. You avoid them. Because the minute that you talk about those, that's the end of your sales process. You might just pack up and leave because people don't accept that. So in a way, in the West, when we meditate, the meditation is a space. It's a space where we're trying to find some tranquility and comfort. And it's thought that we don't talk about politics and we talk about religion here. Because we treat it like a sensory deprivation chamber. At least for an hour and a half, let me have some peace. So when I decided to bring politics into here, no one understands why that is. Why would you do that? Why would you take your personal battle and bring it to here? That's your problem, not mine. I'm talking about my problem, not yours. But that was not my intent. My intent is to elevate our practice so that it's not just about escaping, it's about engaging. And what's happening in our country, what's happening in this election is real. You cannot escape this. We haven't even started yet. You cannot escape this. But it's a great learning process. It's a great vehicle for true spiritual practice by engaging it. So when I was in the prison, we talked a lot about inmates who were addicted. they are addicted to substance, they're addicted to their anger. So I get to know about the 12 steps. And so I decided to write about positivity in politics in terms of the 12 steps. We don't have enough time to go through the 12 steps today, but it's a good beginning. And I was greatly motivated by the comments that you shared with me last week, all of them. Particularly the one following the initial comment. The initial comment I really respect, which is that I missed the old classes when we didn't focus on politics. This class used to be more positive. And that's what I'm trying to say is that why would you bring politics into a place where we're supposed to be away from politics? Right? You are intruding into our sanctuary by doing that. But I think the second comment speaks for me, speaks from his heart or her heart, as well as from my heart, which is we are focusing on building healthy resistance so that we can remain positive. In other words, the negativity actually didn't come from outside. What comes from outside is just a trigger. The negativity is actually within us. And the only way is to confront it, engage it, and deal with it. So I'm just going to talk about maybe just the first three steps. You can look it up. This is the typical wording for the 12 steps for Alcohol Anonymous. It also used by other addiction, right? Even addiction to over shopping. The first word is honesty. Honesty is very simple. If you're not honest with yourself, you don't admit that something exists, then you have no way to deal with it. So it's important that we admit that we are all capable of negative emotions. I know there are plenty of it outside, but they're just triggered. What they trigger is the negative emotion in us. As much as we point to half the country and say, oh, they're so focused on anger and discrimination and whatever, we are fully capable of that too. It's just that what they do also trigger what we do. So that's why I said it is that don't fight fear with fear, don't fight anger with anger, because it's just triggering. You fall into the trap. So the first word, honesty, is to admit that we are the source of our own negativity. The outside is just a trigger. The second word is hope. Hope. Give it up. Hope. But here, the hope is a little bit more constructive. It's not about hope, putting the faith on a third party, but about putting the hope and the faith onto ourselves. To be open to the possibility of self-healing. We spent a lot of time today talk about self-healing, but from a physical standpoint. We also need to open the idea of self-healing for mental and for spiritual. That's the motivation for learning. If you avoid it, you don't engage it, then you shut yourself off from more learning. The third one is called surrender. That's what I've been saying is that you got to give it up. Don't avoid it. Engage it. Now, engaging it is based on the understanding that there is a solution to this. Because if there's no solution, then you definitely should avoid it, right? Right? So the three kind of work together. That's all I'm going to talk about today is the first three of the 12 steps to positivity is honesty, hope, and surrender. But with understanding that when I say honesty, it's admitting that you are the source of your own negativity. The outside is just a trigger. Hope is being open to more learning, more practice. The idea that you can heal yourself Surrender is basically stop avoiding and give it up, engage. Okay. All right. That's all we have time today. We'll continue next week, shall we? Okay. Thank you very much for all your donations, all your support, and staying with me. It's almost 2 hours now. All right. Okay. All right. With that, let us be blessed with health, with happiness, and with peace. Namaste. Okay. 星期一見. Bye bye.
Thank you, Danny 師兄。
Okay.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye
星期一見. Bye
bye.
bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.